ago this happened. I developed a bald patch and thankfully it's grown back, but this completely changed the way that I look after my hair. Hi everyone, welcome back, and if you're new here then hi, I'm Fatima and today I'm going to share everything I do to keep my hair looking healthy. Now a lot of you have asked me if I could do a video on what I use, the styling products. I won't go into a great deal of detail on how I style my hair because I have actually done a really in-depth tutorial on my hair blow drying technique and also on how I curl it using my steam pod. So I will also link that at the end in case you want to have a look at how I style it in a lot more detail. But today I'm going to primarily concentrate on the products I use, how I use them and why I use them also. I also get asked quite a bit on what I say when I go to the hairdressers when I have my hair cut, so I will also cover that. But just a little bit of context first of all. So I have very thick hair and it's quite coarse as well. And I grew up as a teenager in the 80s. I'm going to show you a photo because it's quite funny, but I'm constantly perming it. I was dyeing it and bleaching it at home and I wasn't looking after my hair at all. Luckily, like I said, my hair is very thick and so it's quite strong. So as I grew older, I stopped doing all those crazy things and did start to look after my hair more. But my hair care routine till a couple of years ago, until I developed that bald patch, was pretty much I used a good shampoo and conditioner. I probably did a hair mask once every few weeks. I used heat protection when I had it, but if I didn't have any available, then I wasn't that worried about it. And I used to style it or heat style it a lot more than I do now. But actually developing that bald patch really made me look at not just how I look after my hair, but also my scalp. Now, if I'm completely honest, I have no idea what actually caused my bald patch. But there are a few things that I think contributed to it. One being that I wasn't really taking very good care of my scalp and my hair. Also, it happened after a pretty stressful period in my life. It happened actually nearly a year later, but from what I've read, these things can actually happen long after the actual stressful period. And then also shortly after that, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, which I'm now on medication for. So I don't know if it was kind of a combination of all of these things. And I would say that if you are experiencing things like hair loss, also kind of look at the health factors as well and get them checked out. I'm not a professional in any way. This is just what's actually helped me to keep my hair in really good condition. And also I've not developed any other kind of bald patches since that happened. So touch wood, it was a one-off. So before I talk about the products and the routine, I just want to explain that I don't constantly just use one set of products or one routine. It really depends on how my hair is feeling. So I have a maintenance routine and I also have a treatment routine. And at the moment I'm doing my treatment routine because it's been extremely hot in the UK and I can really feel it on my hair. It looks more damaged and dry than it usually looks, and my haircut isn't for another 4 weeks, so I'm just trying everything I can at the moment to maintain the health of my hair until I get it cut. So I will explain what the difference is between my maintenance and my treatment routine because I only change a couple of things. But what I will do is that I've created a one-page list. So at the end of the video, I will show that on screen, which shows my routine that I use, whether it's a treatment or whether it's maintenance. And that way you can take a screenshot and we'll have everything in one place, because I know it can get a little bit confusing when somebody's like talking through loads of different products. So most of the year when I'm maintaining healthy hair, my go-to product is the Kerastase. Now I've run out of the Kerastase shampoo and conditioner because I'm in my treatment mode, so I haven't brought another one at the moment, but I use I think it's the Band Satin hydrating shampoo and conditioner. Like I said, I will link everything I use below, and that's specifically for quite dry, coarse hair, which like I said, mine is, it needs an awful lot of moisture. So I only wash my hair twice a week, regardless of whether I'm in maintenance or treatment, just because my hair doesn't get that oily or greasy at the roots, and also because there's a lot of it and it's quite dry, I don't want to wash out all the moisture, and also it takes me ages to style it. So once I style it, I can then leave it for days before I have to do anything else to it. So out of the 2 times I wash my hair, for one wash, I will do a pre-gloss or a pre-oil treatment on my hair. And that basically means that an hour or so before I shampoo my hair, I will run through some oil from mid-ends to the ends of my hair. And I really do concentrate more on the ends of my hair because that's the oldest part of my hair, and that's what's been exposed to, you know, a lot of heat and brushing, and that's what needs the most nourishment. The products that I tend to use for that more than anything are the Moroccan oil treatment, which is this one, or I've also been using the Argan Oil Moroccan by OGX, which is cheaper than the Moroccan oil one, but I think it's really good as well. So I pretty much just put it on my hair, and then I'll just put my hair up in a clip and try to keep it at least an hour. Sometimes I don't have the time, so sometimes I will just keep it for like 15 to 30 minutes, but I like to do that once every week. So moving on to shampoo, and this is where my routine changes depending on whether I'm in maintenance or treatment. Normally, like I said, I use my Kerastase, but because I'm in treatment mode at the moment, I've switched over to K18, and that's because I'm actually using a lot of K18 products at the moment for my treatment phase. So I just thought using the same shampoo and conditioner would actually be more effective than using different ones in my treatment mode. I really don't believe in using the same products and the same routine all year round. I really think that you should judge it by how your hair feels and then adapt your routine and the products you use based on that. And like I said, because my hair feels very dry at the moment, I feel that it needs more nourishment and more treatment than my regular maintenance routine. Also, once a month I use a detox shampoo. At the moment I'm using the OGX Pro Growth and Peptide shampoo. And this is to just detox my hair with the products that I've kind of used and that have built up on my scalp over the month. So every time I wash my hair, I do 2 washes, especially because I only wash my hair twice a week. So I feel like it needs that extra wash. And when I do use my detox shampoo, I only use it for the first wash because I do find it quite drying. So then every month I would use this for my first wash, and then I will use my normal shampoo for my second wash, whether that's K18 or my Kerastase. Now, in terms of conditioner, when I'm in my treatment mode, I use the K18 hair mask. This is what it looks like, and I know this is a small box and it is pretty expensive. This was £30, so the larger bottle I think is about 70, but I honestly believe it's worth every penny. Now, like I said, I'm currently in treatment mode, so I'm using the K18 hair mask for 6 consecutive washes because that's the kind of treatment protocol. Then after that, I will just use it once every month or when I feel like I really need a little bit more of a boost. So after I shampoo, I put my hair in a microfiber towel. I just buy them from Amazon, so I will link them below as well. But I don't like to rough dry my hair with a towel because I feel like that would just damages the shaft of my hair. So I will wrap it in this microfiber towel, leave it for about 15-20 minutes, and then when I take it out, it feels properly towel dried. I swear by this K18 mask when my hair's feeling really dry, because I feel like most masks just sit on the outside of your hair, but K18 actually goes inside the hair strand to repair the broken links from the inside out. So the way that I use the mask is that I will do a couple of pumps into the palm of my hands, and then I will rub both my hands together till it becomes like quite white and almost soapy looking. I will then section my hair off just because I have a lot of hair, so I feel like to get the benefit I need to do it in a few sections, and I will run through my hair. And the important thing is that you do not rinse it off and you leave it for 4 minutes. So don't put any other styling products on your hair for 4 minutes. Don't start styling your hair for 4 minutes. because it takes those 4 minutes to work and it really helps to bring your hair back to life. So when I'm not using the K18 after my shampoo, then I will always follow my shampoo with a conditioner. Usually I use the Kerastase conditioner. I think it's called Band Satin for dry hair, but it's the same one as the shampoo. Or I will use the K18 now until I finish it before I buy the Kerastase. So once the K18 has been sitting on my hair for 4 minutes, I started to use a scalp oil when I developed my bald patch. And I was using the Shampoo scalp oil serum, which was really good. I really like that, and I will link that below as well. But at the moment I'm using the Kerastase Genesis. This is the anti-hair fall fortifying serum. Now, I don't have a huge amount of hair loss. Obviously I do have, hair shedding, and since I've been in perimenopause, my hair definitely has got thinner than it was. The treatment protocol for this is to use it for 6 weeks if you're losing a lot of hair, but I don't use it like that. I just use it how I feel my hair needs it. So I will use this on wash days. I will just put it on my scalp before I then go and style it. And if I feel like I need it in between wash days, I will also use it then, because it doesn't really make your hair oily. It's quite kind of watery based, I would say. This is, I don't know if you can see the texture on this, but it's quite like a watery base. So sometimes I use it before I go to bed, especially if I'm going to be washing my hair in the next couple of days anyway. I like to use it then. So I tend to use this 2 to 3 times a week, definitely on wash hair, but a couple of times in the week also. So once my K18 is done, or I've conditioned my hair instead when I'm not using the K18, I will then look to style my hair. And before I do anything now, heat protection is an absolute must for me. So at the moment I'm using the K18 heat protectant because it goes up to, I think, 230 Celsius, and it's supposed to really help with the kind of not just the heat damage, but also with UV protection, and it helps against kind of fading color and breakage. So that's what I'm using at the moment. I also like to use the Living Proof, the GHD. There are a number of hair protectants that I've used that I really like, so I will actually list them in the description so you have more than one choice. So once that's done, I will blow dry my hair. Like I said, I'm not going to show you my full blow dry routine because I have done a full tutorial on that, but for my hair, it works much better if I don't rough dry it first. So I actually blow dry it straight from when it's wet. I don't rough dry my hair with a hairdryer at all, and that was something that the hairdresser told me with my kind of hair texture. He said you'll never be able to get it as smooth if you rough dry it first, as you will if you style it from wet. So I use a round brush and I do my hair in sections, and I kind of just make sure that there's a lot of tension when I'm styling, especially at the root, to create that lift. And I always kind of point my hairdryer downwards so it smooths my cuticles. After I finish blow drying, I always use my steam pod, which is my hero product. I've probably raved about this a lot on this channel if you are familiar with my channel, but this has completely been a game changer for me. It's stopped me having to go to the hairdressers to get my hair styled, if I'm honest, because it keeps the curls in for a few days. I also like it because the steam's supposed to be more gentle on your hair than a straightener or a curler, but it just seems to work really well with my hair. Again, I have done a full tutorial on how I use that and style my hair, so that will be linked at the end. But again, I will section my hair off, do it in small sections, and because I'm using heat on my hair again, I always use heat protectant. So for this, I like to use GHD's Curly Ever After, because not only is it a heat protector, it's supposed to keep your curls in place for longer, so that works really well for me. And then once I've styled my hair, this Kerastase oil is my absolute favorite. Like, I literally could not live without this. If I had to choose 2 products that I couldn't live without, it would be this Kerastase hair oil and also the K18 mask. I really find they make such a difference. This just gives it a really nice healthy shine. It doesn't weigh it down. It's great for flyaways as well. Really love this. I always have a spare of this as well. So let's talk about in between washes, because like I said, I only wash my hair twice a week. So about 3 times a week, I also use the Kerastase night serum. Now, all of these products aren't cheap, they're quite expensive, and I'm not saying you have to use these at all. I'm sure there's plenty of more affordable options, but I'm a really big fan of Kerastase. Every time I move on to something else, I always come back to Kerastase because I think it works really well with my hair. I don't know if it's just because it's really thick and the texture, but this is the brand that I always seem to go back to. So I just use a couple of pumps of this and just literally just run it through my hair before I go to sleep. It doesn't make it greasy, it smells gorgeous, and I just feel that that gives me that extra protection to help with breakage during the night, or just to keep it looking in its best condition. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I will also use the scalp serum a couple of nights during the week as well as my wash day. I hope this doesn't sound too complicated because it really isn't that many products. When I put the one pager at the end, it'll be easier to understand because I'm kind of showing you both my treatment mode and my maintenance mode. So that's my full routine. I do also get asked a lot about what I say to the hairdressers when I go for a cut. So I basically just ask for long layers because my hair is quite dark and very thick. If I just had kind of one length, I think it looked too heavy around my face. So I tend to ask for long face framing layers. So when I do curl my hair inwards as well, it looks really quite nice because it kind of just frames my face. And then I also ask for long layers at the back as well, so it just gives it that natural movement. And then my fringe is the shortest part, so I usually have it to like chin level, but cut in a kind of curtain bangs, so it's shorter in the middle and then gradually kind of tapers slightly longer. And I think that kind of works best for my face and also my hair type as well. It just gives it that movement and a little bit of shape as well, just to be able to keep it at this length. So that's pretty much all I ask for. I do also get my roots coloured because I do have some grey hair, so I go and get that coloured. But I don't usually tend to get anything put onto the rest of my hair unless it's a kind of a gloss treatment in the salon. So what else do I do for my hair? Now, like I said, I don't know what caused my bald patch, but I do wonder if it was a combination of things. And so I did also look at nutrition. I now take a daily collagen supplement, which also includes biotin, I think. Now, I do try to control stress as well because I do feel that that plays a big factor, which is work in progress because I'm a natural worrier, but I have found some techniques that have helped me in stressful periods. So I think stress is a really big factor as well in hair condition, as is nutrition, as is your kind of hair routine. I don't think it's one individual piece. I think it's a whole package. I think it's what you do internally as well as what you do externally for your hair that really makes that difference. I also use a silk pillowcase every night because I feel that that really helps with, number one, the frizziness, but also breakage during the night. I was thinking of getting a silk bonnet because I feel like that might be really good for it to stop kind of any rubbing on the pillowcase, but I'm a really bad sleeper, so I just feel like anything on my head might not be a great option, but I might give it a try and see how that goes. But what I have stopped doing is I definitely don't towel dry it because I feel like that can really cause more breakage. I don't aggressively brush it when it's wet. I try not to overstyle it, so I do definitely style it twice a week with heat. There are occasions when I'm going out and I feel like it needs a bit of a zhuzhing up. I will use my steam pod, but I will always use heat protector if I'm styling my hair in between washes as well. That's like my non-negotiable now, and I really do feel like it makes a difference to kind of the ends of my hair. They used to feel quite split, where I don't really see that very often. They are looking really quite dry at the moment, I have to admit, but hopefully that will all be cut off in a month's time. So guys, I'm now going to put up the one pager of my hair routine just so you can take a screen print if you want to have a look and use some of my tips. Like I said, I will also link all the products that I'm using and additional ones that I also love, so that you have a few different options. If you did enjoy this, guys, then please do give it a like. And if you have found this useful, then I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel for other beauty and fashion videos. Also, guys, I do get asked a lot of questions about my skincare. So if you do want to know more about what I'm using and what I do for my skin, then do let me know in the comments, because at 54 I've changed how I do things. I've kind of now realized that more isn't always better. So do let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gave you some insight in how I try to maintain healthy hair. Any questions, then do pop them in the description and I will get back to you. Thanks so much for watching, guys, as usual, and I will see you again in my next video. Take care, bye.